And so really, Mike, she said just 2,000 baht for that.
Short time or long time? I mean, dude, come on. Go long time.
Medium time. Oh, hey, we're live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream of Bangkok Strange. How's everyone doing out there today? Mike, my co-host, as always, the bald, the beautiful, the beach-bound Mike's. What's up, brother?
Aloha. How you doing, man?
Living the dream?
I'm trying. Now, the Wi-Fi here in my room, let me know if it's lousy, because I can switch to tethered to my phone, because the Wi-Fi here doesn't usually, it's not great.
Let's see how it works out. Let's go through the chat, see what we got here. Okay. We got Maganj in the chats today. Early, saying aloha from Mexico. Mariano, cool, up early as always. I'm convinced Mariano doesn't sleep.
Not in Germany.
How you doing? Mike, where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in my condo in Cha'am.
Okay. And you went down by a train, is that correct?
Yeah, dude, it was so cool. Like 40 baht, and it was probably, I want to say 4.5 hours. It's scheduled for just under 4. But the cool thing is, starting in Bangkok, like, we leave on time. So it's supposed to leave at 9:20. It's supposed to get here at like 1:15, and I think I got here at like 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that. But for a Thai train, that's totally on time.
Generally speaking, they leave like bang on.
At the beginning of the route, yeah, but halfway in, forget it.
Would you go from Hua Lamphong?
I did. I've gone from, what's the other one? Bangkok, I think. No, Bangkok, that's your stop.
I think there's a different train station in Bangkok. Yeah.
Yeah, is that the name of it? Bangkok. Okay.
Yeah, Bangkok.
And I've done that before, because it was COVID, right? So at the time there was only ones that were going like a couple times a day, and even now, not all the trains are running. They still have some trains that aren't running, but it's been it was awesome, dude. I mean, you dig the trains, so it's a cool way to go.
Excellent experience. When we go to Chiang Mai, you'll see we'll take the northern route. The northern route doesn't have the pull-offs that you talked about on the southern route. So the northern
it's got 2 tracks the whole way?
The whole way. At least the Chiang Mai route does. So you pretty much go and basically we're going to the very last stop, so we will wake up at Chiang Mai in the morning. Like, you'll be awake hours before Chiang Mai, because I know you'll be like live streaming or some bullshit from like an hour outside of Chiang Mai. I'll be passed out.
All right, let's be clear. Yes, I'll be live streaming, but it's not live streaming and some bullshit. Okay.
So we got Born Nomad, Steve, gotta love Thailand, and Hugh up in the chat now as well. Got more hike. I don't know if I got you before, but welcome. Richard Martin, how you doing? Oh, Hugh with his crummy Cox internet. I used to work for Cox, man. I know all about it.
I will say, I think Cox has some decent, if you're comparing, I think Cox is actually pretty decent internet.
When I was leaving, they were doing a big DOCSIS upgrade, and I was actually heading up that project in Ohio. And DOCSIS is essentially a cable internet protocol, for anyone who doesn't know.
What was it going to? Because 3.0 or 4.0?
They were pushing a 4.
Okay.
So they're at 3, and then the 4.0 standard had kind of come out, but it wasn't completely ratified yet. So we were turning up some of those features on the device called the CMTS, essentially a router. A cable modem termination system. But yeah, and then they had switched out. We used to have Motorola CMTSs, and they switched out to Cisco's. And they quadrupled the number of CMTSs so that they could handle more bandwidth per, or divvy out more bandwidth per CMTS. Mango,
what's the maximum bandwidth you can do on Coax?
It's a hot topic, but so you can push It depends on a lot of things. So there's physical limitations and there's different size coax in each location.
Yeah. Let's ignore the physical, degradation because of copper. But
So,
I mean, because the highest frequency you can do on copper is what?
again, depends on the
You
size.
can't do a gig,
right?
can you?
You can go past a gig for sure.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you can go past a gig, but here's the catch, right? There's something called the skin effect, right? So any frequencies on the outside of the copper, right? You attenuate at a higher rate, unless you ask guys who work for companies that make inverted RF machines and muxers and stuff. They seem to think the laws of physics don't apply to their equipment. But again, like the further you push fiber, right, the better it is for the network. So the cable is hybrid fiber coax, so it's fiber to the neighborhood essentially. So the deeper you push that, the more nodes you split, the better the service. And eventually there'll be fiber to the home. It'll probably just take them like 2 decades to be able to do it.
My folks have Verizon fiber to the house.
Yeah, so Verizon was smart, right? They had that old POTS network, and it was shitty, right? And no one likes DSL because it sucks. You have loop limitations. And then Verizon was like, okay, we've got all this money. Let's just spend it all to run fiber all the way to customer premise. And we'll do like a 20-year ROI.
Wow. 20. That's a big commitment considering the technology changes. I mean, TCP/IP is still going to be around, but obviously
that technology it only sits on what they're banking on is that the infrastructure doesn't change, right? Once you lay down fiber, right, you've got glass, which is theoretically unlimited depending on your mux demux situation. So you spend the money on the infrastructure, and then you can change out your modulation and muxes as needed.
What do they run to the consumer? Is it single mode?
Yeah, single mode right to the edge of the house.
Oh, so it can go a far distance. What's the one that can go further? Single or multi? I can't remember. Single can go further. Okay.
Yeah, usually you're only running multi-mode inside a data center.
Got it. That's why I heard it so much. Yeah.
So if you're running fiber out to the field, it's always single mode.
Okay, makes sense.
It's, just different. I don't remember the wavelengths off the top of my head, but that is the way it goes. And then you mux like multiple wavelengths, and you can demux and break them up, so you can pack a ton more data with depending on how you multiplex.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And
good to see Todd.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the Bangkok Strange Tech podcast for the weekend where we talk about telecom and drink coffee.
Where we talk about GoPros.
Yeah,
Holy
God. Let's double click on your GoPro for a minute. And before we do, we got Mr. Mitch and Dorman in the chat as well. Dorman, what are we down to? 3 days, brother? 4 days?
Yeah, he leaves on the 10th, right? The 10th in the morning at like noontime, I think he leaves.
Nice. So yeah, let's talk about this GoPro situation, because I'm sure most of you guys caught Mike's live stream from Cha'am, and he got his GoPro. First, I want to address that the CEO, you have a friend who works at GoPro, and he was so frustrated with your lack of ability to give his company money through multiple attempts. We tried to pay. I tried to pay. You tried to pay first multiple times, unsuccessful. Then you tried to pay from my computer. Then I tried to pay from my computer. None of those worked. They kept rejecting our payments, even after I had bought one. So you email your friend. He can't really figure it out, so he pays. And then they reject his. Oh, they didn't reject his payment. They took his money and then refunded it. It canceled your order twice.
Well, yeah, there's kind of yes. At the end of the day, that was the result. He accidentally put the shipping address with my street here in Bangkok, but San Diego, California. And I'm like, no, dude, we got to cancel it. So then he comes back, and that's when he's like, oh, they canceled it anyway. And I'm like, okay, without any notification, they just did that.
Yeah.
So that was weird.
Yeah, and then the second time it never updated. Then they told him it shipped, and then they told him it canceled, right?
Yeah, and then the other thing too is that the way that he ordered it the first time, he put everything on his credit card. Actually, he did that both times. So the first time, and he's like, okay, so here's your what's it called? GoPro Online. What do they call that cloud service?
Oh, GoPro. It's the subscription service, whatever it is.
So I go in and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll make sure that I change the credit card now. So in a year or whatever, in case I forget, it won't ding his credit card.
Yeah.
And I'll change the name from his to mine. And then I do all this. And then it dings my credit card $49. And I'm like, okay, I guess that means it's working. But here's the interesting thing. So the order got canceled, and I went back into the account and I said, okay, cancel my subscription and refund my money. They still have yet to refund my money, which is kind of okay, because then that means at least I have a GoPro Cloud account, which I'm figuring, since it's like free storage, I'm just going to like set it up on the app so that it like auto uploads, just so like I have a backup. So
the insurance is really what you pay for in case you drop it off a motorbike while driving 30 kilometers an hour live streaming.
And here's what's amazing is I get that regardless of whether I sign up or not, because of what they sent me. Yeah, they gave me like this card. Did you also get a card? It's like the size of a credit card, and it's got like 5 or 6 pro tips on it.
Maybe I'll have to check my kit.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like a big piece of plastic like this, and then inside of it is like a cutout of like a credit card thing with like pro tips. Like you're going to put it in your wallet and carry it with you everywhere you go.
Card carrying GoPro member.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, actually, let me go get it. I want to bring it over here because I want to show you guys some of the.
So while Mike's getting that, I'll talk about what happened. So his friend works at GoPro, emails the CEO, tells him like, hey, my buddy has been trying to buy a GoPro from Asia for weeks now. We're not willing to take his money for whatever reason, and they keep canceling the order when I try to ship it. The CEO of GoPro actually writes back to Mike's friend and says, oh, that's unacceptable. He's like, but thank you so much. You're the type of employee that we need here that's going to help bring these issues to light. I'm forwarding this to the e-com team, which Mike and I have joked many times about the e-com experience on GoPro. But so the CEO forwards it to the e-com team, and then he copied, it must have been his assistant or someone from marketing on the email. He said, can you take care of sending Mike's friend, so Mike, a GoPro VIP kit, an H9 VIP kit, so that we can take care of him. He wants to be a customer. Let's just send him one. And me and Mike were joking. We're like, let's see when it arrives. And like literally, like I think like one business day later, it was like a Friday, and was it Monday or Tuesday? You had it in your mailbox, Mike?
I was amazed. So yeah, because I left Wednesday morning on the train, right? And so I'm sitting there and I walked through the lobby. This was Tuesday night, and she goes, "Oh, you have a package?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so she gave it to me, and that's when I shot that quick little video in the parking lot when I was going to get chicken, and showed it to you. And I was like,
a video from the parking lot with the box half open, going to get chicken.
I'm like, dude, this is friggin' amazing. Someone made the comment about the GoPro stock. Yeah, it's up to like 7.6 right now. It's up 15.71%.
Oh,
which is pretty good.
Go More Hike asked, were they low in stock? Is that why they kept canceling you? So
no,
the camera has never been out of stock. All the accessories like the media mod, the lens mods, all of those have been out of stock intermittently, but the camera itself has never been out of stock, at least on the website. My understanding is that they pre-made like millions of these things, and they've got them stored in multiple shipping locations. They're just banging them out.
You know what's funny is, so you know how you and I went to Fortune Town, right? And there's like all those camera shops. And if you guys know anything about Thailand, there's like 3 or 4 camera shops. I almost said big camera shops, but there's Big Camera, and then there's and they're everywhere.
World Camera.
Yeah. So I'm down here, and what I needed actually is I needed to basically get an attachment to hold the GoPro.
Okay.
And hey, I don't remember if you were listening or whatever. What do you call this? Like, is that like, the standard camera thread? Is that called something?
Quarter 20.
What is it? Quarter 20?
Quarter 20.
Okay. So anyway, so I go in and I'm just like 20 threads per inch, quarter. Okay, got it. So anyway, so I'm like, okay, I want one of these that goes into the base of my GoPro, And so the standard, sort of GoPro I guess, physical interface, basically connectivity, right? So you've got like this whole thing and then everything goes into there. And it's such a simple connector. It goes into here. It's like this big. And then it goes right into the quarter 20, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. Big camera. So yesterday I take a ride up the coast, like about 35 minutes. And then I look on my Google Maps, and about 30 minutes directly west, directly inland from where I am at the beach, there's a big camera inside of Robinsons. So you know how they have like the Robinsons where it's like, yeah, there's the Robinsons, but then there's like also banking and all of that, Robinsons lifestyle, I guess they call it. And so I go there and I walk in and they have all the little gadget store, the little gadget kiosks. And I'm like, great. So I'm like, hey, do you have this that will go to like this? And they look at it, they're like, GoPro 9. Whoa, no, we don't have. They like pull out all this documentation, like every little, and I finally get the big camera. He's got like this whole like piece of paper that says all of the accessories that they have. Nowhere on it does it talk about the GoPro 9. Yeah. So the woman asks me, she goes, well, what do you think? I mean, is the GoPro 9 like really good quality? And I'm going, okay, you guys need to seriously just go to YouTube and type in GoPro 9, because insane. I am freaking blown away by the fact that, and so you know how like I'm doing the live stream on the motorbike. So, okay, I can kind of get to the point where it's like, all right, you use AI and filtering and low pass and all this, and you combine it all, and you're like, okay, well, this is basically white noise that's coming in, and we can modify, we can understand the voice, and we'll just like, okay, I get it. Well, this morning, I'm down at this beach right here, doing a live stream, and I'm talking into the microphone from like probably 10 feet away. And it's picking up my voice and the waves, but it's filtering out the wind noise. And I'm like, how the hell were you able to say, oh yeah, except beach waves, but not wind noise? That is fucking genius. I was very impressed with that.
I was blown
but I will tell you
driving on. What's that?
Well, go ahead.
I said I was blown away with you driving on the road 30 kilometers an hour, 35 kilometers an hour. And actually, I'm sure you were going faster on that longer road out to the national park.
Yeah, no, I was up to like 50.
Zero wind. And then there was a point where you're at the fishing village where you're like, yeah, I'm not driving over these sharp ass rocks. But there was no wind, but I could hear the waves, and you were talking clearly. I mean, it's fucking magic.
It was just so impressive, and again, it's true. I'm kind of kicking myself because, I mean, first of all, I should have bought the goddamn stock when it was $4 when we were in your living room.
Yeah.
But the second, I also should have bought it at $6 because it's up to like
722 or 766 right now. But we also, how many times have we had the conversation about why is it so low, and we keep coming back to leadership, but then we see something like this from the CEO. It's so hard to reconcile.
Here's what I've discovered over the years, which is, and I saw this in Dell. Michael is actually a pretty decent leader, and he's a pretty astute businessman, and he's actually got some feelings now. About 20 years ago, he didn't have any feelings, and he was like a tyrant sort of thing, and he's gotten a lot softer. His wife helped with that. He's got an amazing executive team, and I was honored. Those were the guys that we were working with, pretty solidly, and then I was, working with Michael too. But like director level and below, like middle, like lower management, dude, it was all this BS, like drama, like horrible. And so it's like the leadership can only go down so far. And unfortunately, what happens is a lot of times someone will make the CEO aware of stuff. And then the CEO will basically say, okay, that's it. Drop everything. Bam. Send this guy a friggin' camera in 2 days. I don't give a shit what it costs. I'm sure the shipping was at least $100.
Oh, easy.
And because again, now I'm a customer for life, right?
And you didn't pay in, like they covered your imports and everything. So
absolutely everything. Oh, and I showed you the tape on the box, right? I mean, this thing was clearly opened and inspected.
Yeah.
And so whatever that cost was, they were just like, oh yeah, just bill it to, And so I will say that I'm excited to actually build a relationship with the CEO because he's very engaged with customers one-on-one when he gets engaged with customers one-on-one. But on the average day, all he does is basically interface with his leadership team, right? That's running the company. And his investors probably once every quarter, that sort of thing too. But it's kind of nice, like being on the guy's radar, because again, as far as I'm concerned, they need to get their act together, get all this software together, and license the shit out of it to Canon. And
Or
then
Apple.
their stock is just going to, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, that's the thing, dude. In 3 years, I mean, every single electronic device with a camera on the market is going to be able to do this. Horizon leveling, now that it's out there, I'm sure Huawei is like, holy crap, we got to figure this out. We got to get this in our products, ideally by Christmas, which is the fantasy.
Horizon leveling.
Yeah, that's true. Now, but what do you got to buy? Like, don't you have to buy a lens that goes over this, and it's like
there's
bigger?
a 155-degree angle lens you have to buy to get that 360 leveling, and you can only do it in 2.7K. You can't do it in 4K or 5K.
Okay.
So I saw Go More Hike ask why we think the stock is up right now. I would imagine just sales of the 9 plus Christmas anticipation. You know, it's a consumer product, so they're gonna go. People are gonna buy this like crazy. I'm sure Black Friday it's gonna fucking insane.
Yeah, they'll probably blow it out on Amazon for like probably like $249. Yeah, like $250. Yeah. But the cool thing is that they integrated the subscription. So from an investor standpoint, I'm like, holy crap, you made your customers sticky for the next year minimum. That's amazing. I'll invest in you, which I actually mean to do. I pulled everything out and everything's in cash, so now I got to reinvest.
So some of the Mariano and Go More Hike are talking about the Osmo Pocket. You know, a lot of people have told me they don't like it. And actually, I have a friend. He was trying to buy a GoPro, couldn't do it. He ends up buying the Insta360 1R, which is a camera I like the idea of. It's modular. It's got like all the different pieces you can swap out. And he got I think they call it the twin kit with the 4K mod and the 360 camera. But again, audio sucks on that. And again, as a rule, I don't buy first generation hardware. So I would wait until the second gen of that camera comes out before I even get involved with it. But you know, it still looks like a cool camera, looks like a cool concept. They have a 1-inch mod with a Leica lens. However, it has a 90 centimeter focal length, minimal focal length. So unless you have incredibly long arms or you're always walking around with a huge
you're just like way out there.
Yeah, you're always going to be soft focus. But yeah, the Osmo Pocket, a lot of people like it, but you know, not the greatest device. And then they just came out with some new Osmo that everyone was kind of like underwhelmed by. Oh, we got the guy with the greatest shirt in the world, Joe P, in the comments, man. Thanks for coming by.
Good to see you, Joe. Hey, Joe, thank you so much for your for buying me a coffee the other day. I really appreciate that. I wasn't watching the live streams or my incoming emails, so I appreciate that, dude. Thank you.
So this is GoPro is a lot smaller company though, with a smaller number of items for sale. You know, the items they only need the one item, right? The camera, and then like the accessory mods. The 9, like I've had GoPros since GoPro 3 or 3 Plus, whatever my first one was, and I will say that the GoPro 9 is by far. And I have professional cameras. Like Mike's been to my place. I've got professional video cameras. I have multiple DSLRs. Like I've got equipment. And I will shoot on the GoPro over most of those every day of the week just because ease of use. I mean, I probably have $20,000 in lenses for Canons in my place. And I will pick up, plus like another, a couple $1,000s worth of Fujifilm gear. And I will pick up that GoPro and just shoot with it because it's so easy. You basically point at yourself. It levels horizon. It has great audio, as we've all seen from Mike's live streams. Fucking magical audio. The color science, especially since the last update, the color science is fantastic. It's on par with what it's been on previous GoPros, and just overall, just such an easy camera to use. Yeah, you're not going to get super creamy, milky bokeh shots with it, right? You can't zoom, all of that. But if you're just using it for like vlogging and like general video stuff, and it's rugged. So like you saw, Mike dropped it off his bike without issue.
Dude, how like messed up was that? I just saw a, hold on, let me show this. What does Bo Easy say? I don't know why this got, there we go.
Oh, I missed Bo Easy in the chat. How you doing, man?
No, it wasn't you. For some reason, YouTube graded out, but it's like he's ordered a couple of shirts. Teespring, great service. DHL, great service. To Australia, Australia Post. Then on a shithouse, still waiting. Ah, crap. No. That's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. But thank you for ordering those, dude. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Shop.bangkokstrange.com, guys. Appreciate it.
So I will tell you that I absolutely defaulted to it doesn't have zoom. The new camera actually has zoom.
So it has digital zoom. It doesn't have optical zoom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. Well, it's got digital everything.
Yeah.
They're not going to start integrating mechanical movement, dude. I mean, but again, it's only 2X, but considering it's a GoPro, it's kind of cool.
So here's the thing, though. The lens is, again, they went back in the 8, the lens wasn't removable. In the 7, it was, but now it's got a metal mount. It's a completely different structure for the lens now, or the lens cover. So you can actually remove the lens cover, give it a half twist, remove the lens, and you can actually, I believe, third parties will be coming out with longer focal lengths. So if you want to set one up with like an 80 millimeter like lens to like zoom out with it, you'll be able to do that in the future.
Yeah, it's the lens cover that's removable, not the lens. Well, I mean, you could unscrew it, I suppose, if you had screwdrivers.
So the way their lens works, it's actually the front element. So you can change the front element based on, that's what the Max Lens mod does. It increases the field of view, right? So you can actually change the front element on the lens. So it's a 2-element essentially lens, and you can change the front. So I believe that there will be third-party lenses that become available in the future.
It's interesting. I'm actually surprised that there's not more third-party options. Like I was looking on Lazada. I ordered us a couple of things like covers and some stuff that'll be coming by the time I get home.
Oh, by the way, do you have were you able to get a quarter 20 piece?
No.
I've got
none of them. Well,
I'll take care of you on the 20th.
Okay.
I'll take care of you when you come back. I don't want to say what date you're coming back because it will give some stuff away, but I know when you're coming back. We've got some stuff planned. So I've got some quarter 20 pieces. I will take care of you when you're back.
That's great. Thank you. I was able to order the door that has the hole in it. So you can like have it plugged in, but the door is closed so the silly battery won't fall out, which is kind of nice. So I ordered 2 of those. And then there's a rubber ruggedized thing that it was like 70 bahts. It's like whatever. And then I ordered something else too. I can't remember what it is, but as far as like third party things, I mean, I'm a huge fan like you are of the company Ulanzi, right?
Great company.
Andover, right? And those guys don't have, they have a bunch of stuff for the 8, which is a little bit disappointing because I'm like, guys, you got to have this stuff on the market now because again, you want to be able to sell it on 11/11, especially in this part of the world. And that'll be interesting. I wonder if 11/11 is going to blow these out because right now, dude, let's face it. If an average dude in Bangkok can't order one online, I mean, do they have an official store on Taobao or Tmall? I mean, my God, Lazada. I can't believe the Chinese wouldn't be all over these.
On Lazada, they do. Yi dominates the Chinese market because in China, they're basically nothing.
Now, did they have anything close to it? Like, in other words, does the current Yi model is at least comparable with the 8? So
image quality, sensor size, it will beat the GoPro. Like, so it's slightly bigger sensor, higher pixel density, does not do any type of stabilization, does not do any type of horizon leveling, has shitty audio, right? So it's not the best camera. Does it shoot it's not the best action camera. Does it shoot a good video? Yes. Is the stabilization good? No.
Okay. And so that's the best non-GoPro action camera available in China.
In China. Now, Joe has a really good question. Do you know if it's had a drop test yet?
I'll tell you something, dude. I'm actually going to chop that part out. I'm going to send it to the CEO, and be like, well, you haven't lied to me yet. Because, dude, I mean, talk about unplanned. Here, I have a question for the guys in the chat, because many of them were probably watching. How many of you guys thought that I like crashed my bike?
I thought that for sure. I was like, holy shit. I didn't say anything. I was watching. I was like, oh, fuck. I hope Mike's okay. I hope he didn't just, because you were like, this is the thing. You were slowing down and you were pulling over to the side of the road.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, fucking sand, right? Like, it's happened to me. Like,
yes.
You know, and I'm like, oh fuck, I hope he didn't just drop the bike. Like, cause like literally it happened. Like you were slowing down a bit, you were pulling over to the side, and it's like,
yeah,
if you guys have ever ridden a bike on Thai roads, especially in beach towns, right? What do you get on the side of the road more than anywhere else is a shit ton of sand. And apparently you found all the feces that I've been complaining about in Sha'am.
Yeah, and let's be clear, it's not on the beach, dude. It's in now. Okay, so but here's what's funny, right? So you know how like there's a lot of Thai agriculture. For some reason, where I was in Cha'am, there's a ton of livestock. Like very little agriculture.
Like, that's a lot of hamburger coming my way.
Dude, I'm sitting there and I come out and I'm like, okay, cool. And so I like turned on Facebook and I'm like, all right, awesome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cruise up to these cows that are all like cruising in the other direction. And then I'll just kind of follow them with the thing. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Now, it's a cow, right? So I'm like, all right, whatever. 1 cow, 2 cows, fine. But like 40, and the guy behind them is basically smacking them in the ass so that they'll all go down the road.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like nobody. So I come up to it, and there's this one like on the left, and it just like it stops. And then it starts like coming to me faster, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose against fucking Milky Mary. So I'm like, I gotta turn around. But yeah, dude, they're everywhere. I mean, there's a lot of them here.
Did I tell you time I was in Ubon Ratchathani and I was staying in the middle of the city, and I come out and there's literally cows walking down the street, just like no one watching them, just like random cows. I'm like, this is like downtown Ubon Ratchathani. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm trying to think. Mexico, I would see that in Mexico, like middle of the desert, but also like in the middle of town. Like one would get out, and people would be like, and they would know where he's from. And but
that's Jose's cow.
Yeah, Jose and Jose.
Yeah. So so Go More Hike's been checking out some of my old videos, man. Thank you very much. He likes the quality on my channel. New video coming soon. I almost finished the edit yesterday. I've got a few more things, and I got to do the voiceover. And then hopefully that will be sort of like there'll be some more consistent content there. I've got a bunch of stuff filmed. Here's Bo Easy talking about the crap service for Australian Post. Looking forward to them. You know what? I gotta say, Thai Post, Jib and I ship a lot of stuff by Thai Post. I am so impressed with their service.
Yeah.
So
do you have this experience? So you have your GoPro plugged in and it's charging, okay?
Yeah.
And it's off. And then you turn it on and it displays the percentage of battery. And then looking at it, like literally, like I just turned it on and it was like, 92%, and I'll look down and it'll go 92, 94, 96, like within seconds, like it's updating. Have you noticed that?
So I charge I have the dual charger, so I pull my batteries and I charge them there because they charge about twice as fast.
Oh, that was the third party thing that I bought, which was no money. I was really impressed.
Some of the third party chargers don't work good though. It's kind of hit or miss, but if you bought it from Big Camera, I think it's fine.
No, I bought it on Lazada or whatever. At the end of the day, and I actually, this was only recently that I've done this before. I got something in the mail. It absolutely didn't work. And so I went online, and it was like 100 baht. And I'm like, all right, whatever. But then I was like, I wonder how difficult it is to return something. And I'll try it. And if I lose the 100 baht, fine. So I go into, the Lazada dashboard, and I click on return, and it says, okay, so here's the label, print it out, put it on the box, and drop it off at the post office. And I'm like, okay. So I drop it off, which is fine. By the time I got back to my house, I had a message and they refunded all my money. I'm like, I thought Amazon was good. That's impressive. That's very
once they scan it in at post, I ordered a foam roller. And actually I'll answer Hike's thing. He was asking if I still wake up early. Yes, I've been getting up early and jumping rope. So I got up early. So I jumped, not Mike early, but my early, and like between 6 and 7. And I jumped rope and I'm still sweating. So I'm like, I still like dripping sweat from my 30-minute jump rope this morning.
Do you have the icebox setting set on the AC
No,
to your left there?
I've got it set where it was. Actually, I made it warmer than it was last time because remember we were even saying like my toes got cold last time with it on 3.
Yeah, thank God you're actually experiencing reality. So I'm
not
pleased.
your reality. But so I ordered a foam roller to like help because my calves are really struggling with the daily jump roping. So stretching, and so I ordered a foam roller, and they shipped me the wrong item. They shipped me 2 unicorn slippers, fuzzy unicorn slippers. The package came yesterday. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I open up, and so I go online. I checked. I'm like, okay, what was this from Lazada? And it's like the foam roller. So I took a photo, processed the return. Literally, like I insert the photo, process the return. They submit to the seller. 30 seconds later, it's like, all right, pick your shipment method. And so instead of post, they had pickup at my house. So I just picked flash pickup at my house.
Okay.
And they send me an email to go and schedule the pickup. So they'll come 7 days a week and pick it up and return it.
And do you just do it like you have no clue who's coming? Like whether it's what's that orange one?
Yes, no, it's not. What's that one? Losmail or something? Loudmail. But this one, it's called Flash. It's some of my fabric merchants use this as well. They do the Flash.
Oh, okay.
And so like it's like same day delivery. And actually, so one of my sample makers is sending me Flash today with jeans that we made for a client. Jean samples. So this is Cody says, I wish GoPro had a better quality of the shorty that was made from aluminum. So Ulanzi has a shorty's their little mini tripod.
Oh, so, okay, yeah.
Ulanzi makes one that's really good. I also have the Manfrotto little mini tripod deal, which is quite comfortable.
This tripod, I friggin' love it, dude. It is friggin' amazing. Ulanzi, you want to know what was funny? Is when we were interviewing Tony Huge. You know how Rose came in and she had the camera?
Yeah.
She was using this. And I thought, oh my God, I've got basically hooker tripods. And I felt like so friggin' as part of the solution. It was great. Hey, so I'll tell you, the GoPro app, for maybe you've experienced this, probably not. You probably figured it out too. But there's a lot of people on Reddit and even YouTube videos saying the GoPro app sucks, it can't connect or whatever. Okay, RTFM, because all you got to do, dude, I mean, GoPro's help page, I was thrilled with how clear it was. They're like, well, you got to do this. And what's cool is when you're streaming from your phone, one of the APs that it will search for is the actual hotspot on the phone. So the app will actually use that. And it is seamless, man. It's like next, finish. The only thing that pisses me off is it doesn't save the password for the Wi-Fi every single time. The first day that I did a live stream, I was all over the place, and it basically it froze a little bit, but it never dropped. Yesterday afternoon, I'm like cruising along, and for some reason at like an hour and 25 minutes, it got a little, pixelated, and then it went back to normal, and then it dropped again. And so I got to my destination, I opened my phone, and it's sitting there, with the swirl, and it's basically like reconnecting. And I was like, so that's a little bit disappointing. But in going through all of this data gathering, you don't have your 8 yet, but it looks like some people have been able to manipulate the 7 to be able to do live streaming. Not the way that the 8 and the 9 do it, but have you ever tried your 7 for live streaming?
I've seen people do it. I've never done it.
Okay.
Real quick to Cody, just check out Ulanzi and check out another company called Pulsar. They have aluminum versions, and Manfrotto has a very expensive little mini tripod version. Hike says it'll beat the GoPro. That's a bold statement. So I said the Yi will beat the GoPro only in like on a tripod, completely still video quality. The Yi 4K Pro for sure. And then Patrick even says he has a Yi. It's good for still photos. Yeah, it's got its upsides. The audio sucks. The stabilization sucks. But the sensor and also the low light sucks, which I'll tell you what, the low light on the 9 is not as good as the low light on the 7, which I assume to be similar to the 8. because of pixel size, right? They doubled the pixel density on the same size sensor, which means you have smaller pixels, which let in less light. That's just physics. But
Yeah.
the quality, like it's a minuscule quality shift for low light. Like clearly they're running some more AI on the back end to assist with the image noise. But he had the helmet on that looked good. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Mariano with the update. 23 likes. 23 likes, only 10 likes. Hit the thumbs up. Oh, 23 watching. I think he means only 10 likes.
I love how Mariano and Joe and those guys do that. And then like the shakas that Joe does. I mean, I think that's great.
Unlimited
but let me just tell
right?
you guys. Yeah. 23 million or no, 10 million. I will tell you guys the amount of freedom that I feel from turning off the display of the number of subscribers and turning off like and dislike numbers. I'm just like, I feel so awesome. Like every morning I get up and basically like I did this morning, I did a stream, but every morning I get up and I go and watch sunset and I make a video on the GoPro and I send it to Gracie and my mom.
Yeah.
And man, that is the best YouTube channel I ever had. I friggin' love it, man. I don't have to deal with any friggin' drama or nonsense or other YouTubers like talking about me like in a passive aggressive way like a fucking child. I'm just like, this is awesome. My mom and Gracie are my audience. And that is just so rad, dude. So rad.
Very, very relieving, right?
Yes. My God.
So where is it? So this is funny. Hike was asking me, I mentioned I used to have over 1,000 Kung Fu DVDs. Why so many? So I love old Kung Fu movies, and you can't really watch them on TV. This is before like, torrents were really as prominent as they were. I just started buying Kung Fu DVDs because you could pick them up, especially when I lived in Boston. You could go to Chinatown and get them for like a couple bucks. No English dubbing or no subtitles, and just that was like some of my favorite cinema, like the old Shaw Brothers. And before I know it, I just had like tons of DVDs of Shaw Brothers videos and like old Kung Fu movies, newer Kung Fu movies. But yeah, it's the type of stuff that back then, before on demand, before there was like the quality or the selection of other download options, we'll call it. It just ended up, the only way I could see them was to buy them on DVD, especially after like the local, I believe it was the local Fox affiliate where I lived, used to show Kung Fu movies on Sunday. They had Dr. Mongo's Sci-Fi Cinema, and then it was like, I forget, it was like some like super Asian Master Wu or whatever is Kung Fu Cinema after Dr. Mongo's Sci-Fi Cinema. And so I would watch like a sci-fi movie, a Kung Fu movie every weekend growing up. And then, I just started collecting them over time. Cody says he streamed from his live but had issues. I got it connected, but then would lose connection, and I would have to start the whole process from the beginning. Oh, that's interesting. Token Nomad says, my bad, I was watching and did not like. I'm not even drunk yet.
Yeah. That's all right. The night's young.
So, Gotta Love Thailand says, did you get the media mod, Mike? I know that the answer is no, right?
No, I didn't. I got to tell you, Dana, honestly, after using it the way that I've been using it lately, I don't see any need for one.
Yeah.
I mean, the audio is freaking spectacular.
Yeah. No, I mean, so I did a test after I watched yours. I was blown away. So I basically set my fan up maximum in front of my desk and just recorded a little bit of audio with me talking behind the camera from like a meter away. And the same thing, just sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I've got the aircon running, the fan going, and it's just, perfect.
They do it. And they have like 3 settings. I'm at the max setting, and you probably were too when you were testing it. I'm going to put it in the middle one next and then do another motorbike ride because that way I can compare it. It's very interesting how well they did this.
Yeah, again, but I like the media mod. It definitely gives you more directional audio and you get more isolation. But it would probably be a detriment to you because they no longer have the rare input for the media mod. So like where you're talking from behind the camera wouldn't be an option with the media mod now.
That's lame. So when you turn it around, you're like attenuated, like 20 dB.
Like more than that. Like, so
Ah.
it's my understanding is the microphone in the Media Mod is bidirectional, but for some reason they haven't turned on rare. On the Hero 8 with the Media Mod, if you can go rear or front, but now it's only front.
Have you, because you have the little, it's like that wire, the dongle, and then it's got like that little piece of plastic that's got the two connectors in it for your external. Have you tried plugging that into the 9? Does that work?
No, I have not tried the metal splitter. No.
Yeah, do that if you would, because everything I see online says that it works with the 7 and with the 8, and that's exactly what I want. Like, in other words, quite frankly, I have no expectation that I'll ever like need the waterproofness of this. Because I'm used to shooting with my phone and I do not get my phone wet. I mean, this is, I was walking around in the rain, walking back this morning. Fine. That's a neat feature, but it's not a requirement. So when I get the door that's got the hole in it, that's going to be an open jack that I want to make full use of. To be fair, though, the reason I want to try it with yours is I want to try it with that and then my dead cat microphone. Because honestly, dude, I mean, again, the technology inside this thing, I may not need a dead cat microphone. I certainly don't need a friggin' gimbal any longer. I'm just going to rely on ones and zeros, dude. These guys are friggin' genius.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. And so with the horizon leveling and the hyper smooth, I mean, essentially gimbal, like we were talking about this the other day online, the gimbal at the consumer level will be gone in the next 5 years for sure.
Yeah, I give it 3 years, and I give it 3 years in mainstream. I mean, dude, think about like when they basically came out with like the cameras on the phone, and then when they came out with phones that had like two lenses, and then the quality was just so good that basically you could do what CB Media does, and he shoots everything on his friggin' iPhone 10, 11, 12, whatever the newest version is, and it looks friggin' spectacular. Yeah. So, I mean, the delta between what was it like? Did they go iPhone 8 and then iPhone 10? Did they? Is that what?
No, I think there was a 9. What do I have? I think I have a 10. Pretty sure.
So what's the newest one?
12.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe they skipped regardless. Is the amount of additional quality and technology that was increased in basically less than a calendar year was so quick that I mean, again. I'm
the
very
8 was almost like a step back in a lot of ways from the, like, not a step back, but not a big step forward. And a lot of people complained about like the form factor. So actually, the 8 was a change in form factor, and so was the 9. Now, I think that they'll stay with this larger form factor for a while because it allows them to have the bigger battery. It allows them to, they've got the new lens mount design. I think the 9 form factor will be there for at least a few generations.
Yeah.
However,
I'm very pleased you can hot swap the batteries when you're plugged in.
So the big thing that I think will be the issue is that I think they will end up eventually going modular, at least for the battery, the same way the Insta360 is, because it just makes, right now, if you have the Media Mod on, to change the battery, you have to completely unmount. You have to take the camera out of the Media Mod and swap the battery.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A pain in the ass. Definitely. I guess when we go to Chiang Mai, I'll bring the Yi. I'll bring, we'll both have the GoPros. I'll bring the 7 with me as well. I'll probably bring my Fuji up, but I would imagine we'll shoot the majority of Chiang Mai on the Hero 9s.
Yeah, and then that will be quite the motivator for us to get our power set up so we can recharge these fucking things. Because, dude, okay, I get that you have the rapid charger. Have you compared the speed with which you can do the charging versus just like plugging it in? Like, what's my delta when I do that? Is it 2x, 3x?
So I have the dual charger, which charges faster than the camera, but there's another charger on top of that. However, though, what I do is I just plug it into my my iPad charger, which is a higher output. So yeah,
how much current do you have on that? Because the standard one's like 2 amps. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
What is the
I think the iPad charger is 11.
11 amps?
I think so.
No, dude, it would be massive.
It is. It's considerably larger than a plug.
Really?
Yeah.
How many watts is it?
Let me check.
Is it like the size of the power supply you use on a iMac Pro, or a MacBook Pro?
No, it's about half the size. 12
Okay.
watt. So this is telling me it's a 12 watt. So the iPad Pro, the small one for the iPad Pro is 30. And the, oh no, wait, is this
30 amps or watts? It's probably watts. Yeah, so that's like 3 amps. So that's not bad.
So, and then this is, and so the iPad is at 18 watt.
18 watt. And it does it over USB-C?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean that's pretty good. It's like that's like 5.3 amps. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah. So I use that to kind of cheat the system a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So then Cody says he got the metal grip from you, Lindsay, but didn't see the mini pot. I'm pretty sure it's still on there, Cody. You can check it out. Dorman's taking off on us.
Good luck on your test, buddy. I'm sure it'll go super smooth and you'll get the results you want.
Yeah, so Cody has the media mod as well. Can select front, right. Really? So you can select front or rear with the 9 media mod?
Yeah, because you got to go into preferences, right? And then you got to like basically turn the media mod on, don't you? Even though it's physically connected.
That must be new in the update, because when I first got it, you couldn't select rear.
Did you update to 1.22?
Yeah, I just updated, but I haven't checked it since.
Oh, okay.
So Hike is asking, do we care to make a prediction endorsement? The answer is no.
I literally almost deleted that comment because he already sent me a message and he's like, so what do you think? I was absolutely, dude. Because here's the thing, and I don't want anybody to tell me. I don't know who won. I don't care who won. All of the money that I put in my stocks 3 days ago is now worth 8% more. I don't give a shit.
Well, actually, I'm pretty sure no one knows who won at this point.
Oh, seriously? Okay, good. Fine. Let's keep it that way.
But yeah, I'll tell you what, though, the one thing I've enjoyed the most about the election season is the memes. The memes on both sides have been fantastic. I'm a huge meme fan.
It's not a value add for me. I never liked Pokemon either. I never sort of got into I don't know. There was no ROI for me.
Well, yeah, I liked the cartoon Pokemon when I was a kid. You were probably already in university when Pokemon came out as a cartoon in the US, right?
Yeah, but I also I like fun things, but for some reason, like I never got into video games.
Yeah.
I never got into like Dungeons and Dragons. I never got into EverQuest. So for some reason, Evercrack. So for some reason, I love how friggin' YouTube can kiss my ass. They won't let token nomads. There we go. Thank you. They won't let token nomads thing show up because he has live my ass off day. He said that his dad would say useless as tits on a boar hog. Absolutely, dude. Not a big fan. And screen door in a submarine, baby. Good to see you, token nomad. I'm glad you're here, buddy. That's really cool. I've been watching some of your videos. Totally.
Yeah, I don't know, man. EverQuest I never got into. I know a kid who EverQuest in the late 90s, EverQuest essentially ruined his life because he was so addicted to it.
Well, they called it Evercrack, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Here we got tokens here. I got that one. Yeah, so I played some D&D in high school and college. Pokemon, I liked the cartoons. I was a big anime fan. I've never really been a huge video game guy. But
yeah, but you play with your son or daughter, or no, your son.
My son, yeah. Yeah, but I play because he wants to. Like I'm not playing games with him because I want to. Right? It's like he wants to, so I want to, but I'm not like, oh, check out this new game. But he tells me what we're playing, basically. He's like, we're playing Roblox or we're playing whatever, and like that's what we play.
Nice.
It's basically just stuff that I can run on my iPad and then play with him.
What's his time zone? Central?
No, East. Ohio's on the edge.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's right. Okay, I remember. Yeah.
So I used to get meeting invites from people in Atlanta when I worked at Coax in Ohio, who assumed for whatever reason that Ohio was in a Midwest time zone.
Mm,
And so they would like make all these weird adjustments. I was like, no, we're in the same time zone. Why do you guys keep asking me this? Why do you keep messing up?
yeah. Right.
So, here's a good one. What's your take on this situation? Magnum PI versus MacGyver. Who would win in a fight?
I completely agree with Eric. Absolutely, 110% all day long. Magnum.
Well, he's got the gun, right? MacGyver, like, look, if they're trapped, I agree. Magnum PI wins in the fight, fist fight, or basically, I just think he would shoot him. But, and then, yeah, there is no new Magnum token. 80s Magnum all the way.
Yeah, Higgins is a
Benja.
lady. What the
Benja
fuck,
in the
man?
house. Benja.
Sorry, cop.
So here's the thing: if they're trapped in like a room and there's only like a paperclip, bubble gum, and like a piece of string, Magnum PI will get them out. I mean, not Magnum. MacGyver will get them out all day long. Fist fight, gunfight, whatever. Magnum's got them.
I mean, MacGyver is obviously synonymous with duct tape, right? So yeah. I get that. Yeah.
Duct tape, WD-40. I was using WD-40 the other day. My 1980s can of WD-40.
There's another CEO I'm a huge fan of, Gary Ridge. San Diego. It's a San Diego company, if you don't know.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's the headquarters, and and it was literally like right down the street from USD. They've since moved their headquarters up a little bit north, but yeah, it's an amazing company. Gary Ridge is the name. Great guy.
Yeah, it's a great product, right? It basically, you know, degrease, clean, displace water, good to go.
The women in Miss America pageant use it on their boobs.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of so that basically it doesn't rub up against, I guess, when they're making their I don't know. That's just like one of the silly little things that people know about WD-40.
Maganja, PS5 or Xbox? I'm not a big console guy, but I think PS5's newer, right? The new PS5 is like brand spanking new.
I would probably go with Xbox simply because my Microsoft stock is amazing.
You're not a Sony stock guy?
Nah, Sony, they don't innovate as much as I'd like.
Oh, we've got Benja's already dropping the tie, and Jib's not even here yet. Jib's on our way back.
What does that say? Is that Saudi Ka? I can't remember.
I don't know. I can't. My Thai reading skill is not on par.
Let me Google translate this baby.
Oh, now we're getting to A-Team. A-Team beats MacGyver. I would agree, Token Nomad. I'm a huge A-Team guy. They built a tank out of anything. They always seem to find the welding gun anywhere. I'm a huge A-Team guy. I love A-Team.
Oh, hello, everyone, is what she said.
My gosh, that's a rough buddy icon photo. You got Joe flirting in the comments. Mike's hearing something.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Mike? We got Mr. Mitch reading. Mr. Mitch, are you Google translating, or are you reading the? Are you reading the comment? Can you read time, Mr. Mitch? That's kind of weird. You see how Mike's background just kind of like dissolved from where he was standing to like this little cloud thing? Yeah, A-Team was awesome. I all the characters. That Murdoch was probably my favorite, but of course BA. Who doesn't love BA? I just got like 30 comments jumped up. Cody's going to be playing Star Citizen while watching the live stream. Nice. Mr. Mitch Benja's an excellent teacher. That's what you keep saying. It seems to be the case. Also good at making chicken, right? Time for a new tea. You need the caffeine to keep you awake. Was it 5 a.m. there now, Mariano? Oh, because Mike said Sawadee crop. So that's why. So Mike triggered the tie. We were going to blame Mike. Mike is in Cha'am. So he's been down there for since Tuesday or Wednesday. Since Wednesday, took the train down. He's been doing some live streams from the motorbike with the Hero 9. BA was ahead of his time. Very cautious of getting on the airplane. Yeah. He definitely did not like to fly. You okay over there, Mike?
Yeah, there was you know how like those pickup trucks drive down the street?
Oh yeah, with the
they have like really but it just sounded so different. I was like, oh, I wonder what's going on. Because again, this is a Thai vacation spot, right? So every now and then when like new stuff happens, I'm like, oh, there's a celebration or whatever. So
yeah, last night for whatever reason I was working and I could hear, I had my headphones on, I could hear something off on the side of the soy, and I look out and there's one of these pickups just back down my soy with its speakers blaring.
Your little soy there?
Yeah, my yak, yeah.
Dude, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and the guy was in the back with the microphone just going off.
Was he like doing karaoke or was he selling something?
No, he was probably selling something or promoting something, but yeah, just going at it.
Oh, right on.
So Holland Mad Murdoch, yeah, he's the man. We're talking about Benja's chicken. Mr. Mitch has learned to read 14 words.
Good man, dude. That's pretty awesome.
Any movie projects in the works? Nothing right now. Nothing at the moment, but I think we'll be doing a little mini doc when we go up to Chiang Mai for sure. So Steve asked, I get my Scala chairs yet? No. So we went there. We talked to the lady. We essentially agreed on that we would buy the chairs, the specific chairs that we used to sit in. So we're buying L1, L2. Oh, sorry, not L2, L4, the even side of the place. And they're going to actually put them on a frame for us. So my sewing teacher, Kru Ying, is going to be following up for us because she is actually her studio's right there. So she'll keep like an eye on everything. But they had all the chairs pulled out. And essentially, they're going to be putting everything into like little frames. Some people are buying one, some people are buying three. We're buying two.
How much?
So I think, what's that?
How much? Taurai?
No, we don't know yet. So they said it'll be somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000, which is fine because I told Jib, but we don't know the exact price. But I told Jib that I would go up to 10K for those two specific chairs. So 5K, I'm all day long.
Yeah, that's cool. For both of them, not each.
No, both of them. Yes, because they said they're 2,000 each.
Okay.
But to do two, they have
to
weld
the frame
together.
Yeah,
like weld the frame, make the frame bigger. So they said it might be a little bit more. And then she goes, it could be up to 5,000 total. And I was like, okay. I was ready to pay that for one chair. So I'm perfectly fine to pay 5,000 for two.
Now, is there like a Scala company? Because they have don't they have like Scala restaurant or something like that? I mean, is the whole company bankrupt or are they just like going to generate revenue from the chair sales?
So no, so the theater was called, it was owned by, the theater was a company called Scala, but they also had Scala restaurant down in the basement or on ground level, like the Chinese banquet style restaurant. But they're moving, the theater is going to have a new location in Nonthaburi in an existing theater. So that will take the Scala name. But this one, like they've taken out the chandeliers, they're selling. So it looks like they're about to do like a major renovation there, make it probably more modern, which is a little upsetting to me. Like they took the huge chandelier down, like all the stuff that's going out is kind of like sad.
Are they going to sell the chandelier? Dude, that would be amazing, right?
I don't know. It was huge. It had to be 20 feet. It was huge. Like in
wow.
length. But yeah, so hopefully when we get them, I'll definitely like put up a video of like the new chairs. So it's just, something exciting to have. Here's an interesting question. Is there a word in Thai language for cornbread? Benja, can you help us out on that?
So I just displayed, because she says she doesn't know what that means. Okay. I just displayed what Google Translate gave me. So we'll see if Benja can let us know if that's accurate or not.
Okay. So So Steve says Qualcomm Stadium is being torn down. End of an era for San Diego.
Yeah, that's been a long time coming. I mean, for the most part, like San Diego State was going to use it for. But let me tell you something about Qualcomm Stadium. So when the Super Bowl came to San Diego, the NFL requires various things. So there has to be a certain level of quality infrastructure to be able to do the broadcasts. There has to be, redundant power. There has to be generators. There has to be all this stuff because they're like, look, dude, we're not going off. So anyway, so they increased the infrastructure. Like they did an amazing job and then screwed it up and then had to have another guy come and fix it. Additionally, they added a whole additional section just for the Super Bowl. NFL comes in, and as far as I know, they've never done this in the history of any sort of, major city. They come in, they do the whole thing. We do the Super Bowl because I was part of the channel that did. And afterwards they said, we are never coming back to San Diego unless you rip this thing down and put a new one in. Because it was so, it's Qualcomm Stadium, but before that was Jack Murphy Stadium. It was where the Padres played, right? And so the fact that they're tearing it down, that's just a smart move. What I believe they're doing is making a new one before they tear the other one down. As far as I know, they're building up like basically the parking lot, and they're going to put there, and then it's going to be for San Diego State University Aztecs. But I'm not quite sure.
I saw that in Cleveland, there's all these like plans to put a dome around the Brown Stadium, and like hardcore fans are like, no, we play in the snow.
Yeah, right.
Again, like the Browns generate like zero revenue. Like I don't think any of the other than the Cavs the year they won the championship, I don't think any of the teams really generate huge revenue.
What's an interesting human behavior when you made that statement of, oh yeah, we play in the snow, kind of thing. And I remember like guys, when I was back in Boston and I was going to move to California, they're like, oh, you're going to lose your East Coast edge. Your blood's going to thin, all of this, like totally false medical, but there's like there's somehow this badge of honor that we associate with people suffering. And I'm not sure why that's a requirement. And I can tell you right now, I'm really glad that I was real clear on that, like over the last several years, because they're like, oh, no, you got to save up money. Oh, no, you got to live in San Diego. Oh, no, you got to work till you're 65. Oh, no, you got to just work and save. And you got to work and work and work. And I was like, to be as cool as you, who's miserable? I'm like, no. Yeah. I'm going to a stadium that's got fucking heating in it or whatever.
Who's miserable in San Diego?
Sorry?
Who's miserable in San Diego? Like you said, pretty perfect weather, right?
Me. It's too cold.
Too cold.
But so here's the thing. So the two worst months basically in San Diego are May and June. We have what's called May gray and June gloom. Yeah. It's basically like this behind me, like all day for like 2 months without the cool sunrise. But here's the thing is that if I'm going to go somewhere and I'm going to be anywhere near the beach, I'm going to live at the friggin' beach. And this, what we would refer to as marine layer in San Diego, that occurs at the beach. Now, if I lived 15 miles inland, all of this nonsense burns off after about, 10 or 11 in the morning. But I'm not going to live inland. If I'm going to live inland, then I'm going to live in friggin' Ohio and pay $150 for a brand new house.
Yeah.
And whereas in San Diego, it's like, I'm going to live in Coronado. Like people in San Diego want to live in Coronado. And I'm like, then like, I liked it enough and I'm going to live there. So the problem with that is that you're on the water. And so that marine layer, literally some days it wouldn't go away until like 2 in the afternoon. It would finally come. And then about 4 in the afternoon, it would all come back, so you wouldn't get a sunset either. But the other thing too is that, much like you, dude, the minute I found Thailand, I'm like, okay, well, everything else is pretty much subpar.
Yeah.
So, that meant that everything else was also too friggin' cold.
Yeah. Once you get to Bangkok, for me, Bangkok is the spot, right? Greatest city in the world, the big mango. Right. And like you said, $40 gets you on a train to the beach.
That's easily one of the best things about Bangkok is that from Bangkok, I can get to wherever the hell I want for effectively no money.
So Token asks, am I setting up a home theater to put them in? No, I'm just going to use them as kind of like a little couch, like a little chill area, sit down, read, just basically my own personal chairs to kind of bring back memories of Scala. Here's your cornbread translation. And then, okay, so she understands they have cornbread too, but just where'd that go?
Do they?
There's cornbread in Thailand, but just some supermarkets. Yeah, so it's not a Thai food. Go more like cornbread is a sign of well-developed nation.
Yeah, absolutely. And trust me, it's not like we brought that over from Europe. Guess how we discovered cornbread? We raped and pillaged our way through southern Massachusetts.
Yeah. 1,200 pips this week, just under 30K.
What does that mean?
I'm unsure. 1,200 pips. Just under 30K. Elaborate, Joe. Elaborate. Benja wants to ask more of a hike about this cornbread. Bob N from Hiroshima, Japan. Hey, how you doing, Bob?
Hey, Bob. Thanks for coming by, buddy.
So what is your name? Because it's difficult for me to chat. I think it's she's talking to
what, hike?
Hike. Yeah. So Cody says he thinks it's more
hike.
about experiencing the misery. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If you've ever lived in Cleveland, it's definitely
not for me.
That 9 month winter is rough, and that snow for like every day when it's cold from lake effect. Actually, one of my friends, she posted she lives in the Philippines, but she's Canadian. She posted a thing saying about the Canadian immigration process and like what the requirements were for like Canadian immigration. So I tagged Jib in it. I was like, "Hey, you want to move to Canada, babe? We can enjoy like 9 months of winter every year and a week of summer. Basically the opposite of Thailand weather." Jib's like, "No, I'm all set."
It's pretty brutal. I mean, obviously my whole family's, from there. And we would go up to like basically the Toronto area. No one really knows Hamilton, so Toronto.
I've been to Hamilton. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, dude, yeah. Well, I mean, it's Kitchener-Waterloo, right? That's where Blackberry is from. But it's research in motion. The
hey, babe,
the summers, dude.
Benja's on the chat. Come
ask her about cornbread.
Yeah, so we can get some.
But man, the summers in August, so hot.
Conversation about cornbread going on here. This is live.
You're gonna have to move the camera back a little bit. Cop.
Jump on with those, babe, and then we'll switch cameras. Actually,
are you on your Mac right now or on the Logitech?
I'm on my Mac. Oh, I don't have the Logitech plugged in, so we'll just slide back a bit.
Yeah, just push it out.
Thank you for
She's
coming
not
back
in the shot.
Joining us.
I cannot hear a thing.
You can't. Oh, let me turn your.
We also can't see her.
You can't. Oh, because
can't see her. No,
I'll do this.
It's just you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Boom. Oh, look at me with my biatch.
Yeah, that's a gay shirt you're wearing.
Dude, I'm telling you what, this shirt, I get so many friggin' comments on this shirt. I turned Earth on to like 5 different guys.
You turned Earth on?
I did. Basically, I just whipped it out and he's like, wow, it's so big and white. And I'm like, yeah, it's a curse.
That's how we do it. So, babe, we're saying that Mike's next shirt, he should do the backpack integrated into the shirt. Like a little pouch on the back so he can just stick stuff.
He can reach to his
Yeah, because I had that one, right? I had that little one that I was wearing with like the things, and it's just like, oh, why not just like sew this on the back, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
So like you can do this, like touch.
Oh my God, no! Who can do that? So, babe, we were having a question earlier. What's the Thai word for cornbread?
We don't have cornbread.
So you don't have a word for cornbread? Like how would
No,
you
we don't have
describe
that
it?
type of food. Exactly saying no, we don't.
Okay. So like you go to a Western restaurant, they have cornbread. You would just use the English cornbread.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then the other one I saw Hike asked was pinto beans, which I know we can buy here.
Pinto bean. What is
Yeah.
that? Pinto bean.
Pinto is a Mexican bean. Is it Mexican, Mike?
It's made from it's a kind of automobile made by Ford.
Oh, someone just rang the
That's
bell.
Yes, it's
Lozano.
Mexican.
Oh, Lazada's here, so Jib's gonna run downstairs and grab probably my foam roller. She'll be back.
Lazada.
Lazada. And then we'll figure out. Let's get.
Lazada.
I think we'll go like this a little bit more, and then I'll just pop this over for when Jib returns. So all right, guys. So you have questions for Jib? Put them in the chat. She'll be back momentarily. And while she's going, let me just see if I can catch up. Oh wait, I see something about a fight at the airport. Where'd that go?
Which one?
What's this? Always fights in the stands on the field. Oh, this is in the stands at the stadium. That's like Cleveland.
Raiders fans.
Always fights in Cleveland stadiums. Actually, the first Cleveland Cavs games I saw, I might have told this story before, but I moved to Cleveland and like literally my second night, Cox had a suite at the Q, which is where the Cavs play. At the time, the Cavs were on like a record-breaking losing streak. They had lost like 27 games in a row because they're a Cleveland sports team, and that's what Cleveland sports teams do. And this was, I believe, this is the first season after LeBron left for Miami. And basically, they won that game that night by like a few points. And the way people were almost rioting, you would have thought they just won the championship. Like we got into the parking garage and there was a fire in the parking garage for no reason. Package for me. You can just leave it there, Ben. All right. So yeah, they play to keep. All right. So cornbread. So you would just use the word cornbread.
Yes.
And pinto bean. Any idea on pinto beans?
I don't know.
How do you say bean?
Tua.
So tua pinto.
Yeah. But when you say pinto, Thai would think about like
lunchbox.
Lunchbox.
So yeah, if you guys know the traditional Thai metal lunch boxes are called pintos or pinto.
We don't have S for plural.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's no S. Yeah. So let's see. Anyone else? How pronounce cornbread and pinto beans? Nice. So Hike likes how you pronounce it. So how would you say? So would you just say like pinto or pinto?
So you talk about lunchbox or
No, about
bean?
the bean.
I never
So
know this bean.
You wouldn't say it. I have pinto beans downstairs.
I never eat it.
True. They ow. So they have the. So I guess you would not say it the same way as the lunchbox.
So for like a cornbread, I would say like because this food will be in like Western restaurant, right? So I would say cornbread. But for the bean, if I read the can, it's like English word, I would say pinto. Okay. I'm not gonna say pinto because when I say pinto, it's like, of course, the lunchbox. สวัสดีค่ะพี่เบนจาค่ะ
So here we go. Now the Thai version of the podcast. Oh, so actually, the other day, babe, Mike was driving down the street, live streaming on his GoPro, and he sees a guy selling Café Boran. Right. And so what does Mike do? He drives past and then he realizes that he just saw the guy selling Café Boran. And as we would say in New England, he pulls a Yui, hucks a Yui, and then hucks another Yui he basically drives in a circle to get back to this guy.
Really?
And Mike's like, Mike starts going, Café Boran? Café Boran? And then Mike tries every pronunciation of Boran until the guy's like, yeah.
But what was interesting, and this happened to me twice actually yesterday, is that they, at least the way I heard them pronounce it, I swear they said Café Boran. Is that right?
Café Boran.
Yeah, the longer A. It's Café, not Café.
Boran.
Café Boran.
Café.
Café, air. Like
not air.
Air.
Café. Yeah. No R in it.
Yeah, so say it like a
café.
Would say café. Like café.
Like French, basically?
Similar, yeah. That's the Thai word for coffee, right? Cafe. Yeah.
กาแฟ so like instant coffee we call it กาแฟ also กาแฟ but like with that type of the method with
Yeah.
the bag and the boiler pot that's we call กาแฟโบราณ
And
Hold
Mike
on, yeah.
only
I
drinks
love it.
coffee
So good.
that comes from a boil pot with a bag. If it's either
I
that
prefer
or
the bag.
he needs the sock.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
Absolutely.
served in a bag with a straw. And Mike only takes it if it's
I prefer the bag, dude.
if the bag is full of ice and then they pour boiling hot liquid into the ice and then drop the straw, and that's how Mike goes.
Amazing bag technology in this country. Very pleased with it.
So actually, Mr. Mitch, I have a friend who will without doubt tag me on photos of any truck or whatever that says like Dana Rare End out in the Midwest. He'll just, if he's driving and he passes one, he snaps a photo and like tags me in it every time. I'm like, I don't know if you know the Dana Rare is like an axle or like a transfer case that they make for like bigger trucks. Company called Dana. Or in Thailand, Dana.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's funny because like Mike knows like, that's just how people say it, right? So it's like people who come here for the first time, like, does that upset you? I'm like, no, I don't care. That's how they say my name.
You know why Thai call you Dana?
Because it's a Thai. That's how they would say it in Thai.
No, because like if you don't see DA, when you pronounce NA, you say na, and why DA is day.
Well, in English, yeah.
Understand?
Well, English makes no sense.
As we are not native English, so when NA is na, YDA is not da.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why they call Dana because they see DA and A.
Yeah.
If your name right DENA, they will call you Dana.
It doesn't bother me either way. You can call me Dana, Dana, dickhead, whatever.
Well, don't forget how do they pronounce it back east with their accent? Daner, yo, Daner, come over here, Daner.
I have family members for some reason they call me Day, like cousins, like hey Day, like no one, like I have like maybe 5 or 6 family members.
They're not saying Day?
Who call me that, like hey Day. I'm like, not really my preferred naming convention, but whatever. I'll take Dana over Day any day.
I think you're misinterpreting it. I think they're calling you gay. No judgment.
They did see that photo of me and Earth.
I mean, I'll tell you what, dude. Once I went Earth, I was like, fuck all the other planets.
None of them are, especially Pluto, not even a planet, exoplanet.
Nah, the Pluto, friggin' junk, dude. John, way on the edge.
So actually, yes, there is a Thai word for meatball.
ลูกชิ้น
Yeah.
But our meatball is different from Western meatball. Our meatball kind of like a fine ground pork or fish.
It actually, the consistency would be similar to a hot dog almost.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they steam them, right?
Boil.
Okay. So yeah, very, very different hike than like what you would think of as like an Italian. It's not a spicy meatball. It's a Thai. Well, I guess it is a spicy meatball, or it can be.
No.
With the sauce?
No, for the spicy sauce, but for the meatball itself is no
seasoning.
Seasoning, but not chili powder. We don't put it.
Mike, do you get down with the street meatballs?
You ask for ลูกชิ้นปิ้ง
Do I do what?
The street meatballs on a stick.
They look like round sausages, right?
Yeah.
That one. You try it.
Yeah, I've gotten those. I try and stay away from like the fish balls.
Yeah, like 90% of the time, I think you see them, they're fish.
Fish or pork or sometimes.
Yeah, I hate that. They're gross. They're like rubber.
I almost don't want to share this comment because Mike will get a big head. But Ben just says your accent is very good for Thai.
You know what? Here's the thing. For the most part, when people give me a compliment, I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm totally friggin' awesome. I disagree. I am unable to communicate properly with Thai people, and it bums me out so much. I was just at 7-Eleven this morning, and And I just come in and I'm like, oh yeah, give me a mocha. And they're like, mocha. And I'm like, yeah, mocha. And they're like, no, mocha. And I'm like, no, mocha. Just give me a mocha. And I'm trying to like lengthen it, like I'm like adding value. And they're like, mocha.
Adding value.
And I'm like, dude, no fucking clue. Like just scan me and give me some beverage. I'm so ignorant.
Actually, so I've got a few funny stories to tell about pronunciation issues. And to Token's comment, when he first got here, he was trying to get to Washington Square between 22 and 24. When I first moved here, I lived in Pathum Thani, and I was trying to go to a mall called Future Park, right? And it's called Future Park. Everyone who I knew referred to it as Future Park. I was trying to get a taxi to bring me there, and literally, it's like 3 kilometers away. It's the only mall in Pathum Thani worth going to. And so I'm talking to the driver. I'm like, hey, I want to go to Future Park. And he's like, no, what? I'm like, Future Park. He's like, no. And this is before I understood that, like, the importance of tone. And so eventually he looks at me and he goes, future. And I'm like, yeah. And it takes me there, right? And so to me, I read it Future Park, but Thais read it with a completely different tone and accent. And so if I don't say future, then he has no clue what I'm talking about. It's not like English where if you get close enough, I'll be like, yeah, that's it.
Really?
Yeah. In English, if you say, because there's no tone, if you're at least close on the pronunciation, like if you said cherry instead of cherry, I'm like, yeah, you want a cherry. You just said it weird. Right. But here, if you don't pronounce the tone, it's completely not even close to the meaning. And so I had no concept about this. And so, as you learn that, you try to really work on your tone. And then we used to have a night market behind where we lived in Pachani Wet. And I would always practice my Thai to order food, as I'm sure you do, Mike. And I went in and I was trying to get some spring rolls. I wanted the auntie who sells it to put the sauce on top. And the sauce is nam jim. Right? No, I said it wrong again. All right. So it's nam jim.
Nam jim.
Nam jim. And I said nam jim, which essentially translates to pussy juice. So I asked this old auntie to put her pussy juice on top of my spring rolls. And she just kind of looks at me and laughs because she knows me. Right. And like, so, because I get food from that market I did get food from that market every night. So she kind of laughs and Jib is like, turns bright red, super embarrassed that I just asked this like 60-year-old lady to put her pussy juice on top of my my spring rolls.
And just recently, another big mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. So go ahead and tell this one, babe, because this one was actually, I didn't know this girl at all. And the look on her face was horrified.
Yeah. So we have like, kind of a hot snack.
Yeah, so you Mike, have you ever had like the ginger soup with the tofu in it as like a dessert?
No, I don't think so. No.
All right, next time you're here and late, I'll take you for it. It's a very light like snack. It's really good.
But you also tried to convince me that this plum beverage that you buy on the street tastes.
Yes.
It's horrible. I was like, dude, I feel like I'm like eating vinegar that I've just strained through my Nikes. I'm like, this is a non-value add beverage.
Was an acquired taste. But if
kind of like asphyxiation.
Yeah, a little bit. But if you don't like it, you don't like it. You tried it though, right? And you're like, it's not for me. So I'll bring you to try the this ginger dessert next time. But so let Jib tell. This was
I don't want to talk about it.
So just say it because the look on this girl's face when I mispronounced when I didn't even mispronounce, I completely switched the word by accident. So go ahead. What's it called, babe, normally?
Tau Hoi Nam King.
Tam Hoi Nam Kin it's this great ginger soup. They put like a little bit of fresh tofu curd in it. And it's sweet, but it's very gingery, like a little, like it's kind of like if Big Red was a soup, like Big Red the gum. Or like a fireball, like gingery, cinnamony.
The gum, okay.
Not Big Red, the bot bus. So what did I call it, babe?
Yeah.
So,
he said the first word correct, tau hoi, but the soup that he asked for is not ginger soup.
So I basically asked her to give me tofu curds with semen soup. Or no, like I asked her to give me ginger soup with semen curds.
Soup.
Semen soup. And so I basically asked her to like give me a cum with this. And so the girl like looks at me like horrified, like her eyes are huge. She's like, looks at me, and Jib realizes right away what I've said. She's trying to correct what I said. What so
Oops.
say what I said, man, because I don't even remember.
No, I don't say that word. It's very improper.
So this is why I can't learn swear words.
So for guys, when you gonna say Thai word that start with K,
Jib brought me a little snack, so I'm gonna try this.
so the word start with K, you have to beware. You know, because if you pronounce it wrong, it can turn to be like a bad word.
And unless you're hanging out down Soy Cowboy, then you might get what you asked for. So Jib brought me a black sesame.
Black bean.
Oh, this is mung bean?
It's black bean.
It tastes like sesame.
It's black bean. That's what it say, and it's J.
It definitely tastes
I
like sesame.
actually, I bought some of those at the market the other day. I love those things, man. They're so good. You microwave them. Oh, they're amazing.
Called salapao.
My black bean, not
Oh.
sesame at all.
Jib saying I'm wrong. Oh, Mr. Mitch is gonna run.
Oh boy.
See you, Mitch.
Peace.
Mr. Mitch. Be good, be good. So Ben just dropping some Thai in the. Oh my God, dropping long sentences here.
So that's English and Thai.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Trying not to chew into the mic. So, Mike, what do you got planned the rest of the day?
Boy, have I heard that before. The rain is essentially stopped. So I'll probably go for a motorbike ride or whatever. I mean, I'm really psyched to be here. It's been really nice to be down here at the beach. So I don't know. I might go for like a long beach walk or whatever. Now today's Saturday, and if you guys know anything about Cha Am, then you know it's a big Thai vacation spot, especially on the weekends for people to just come down. Cha Am from Bangkok, from friggin' Krung Thep. And so the beach is like where I'm at, cow sand. Like actually, you see this sand right here? This is cow sand because I told you about the cows that are inland. They bring the cows to the beach. Cow sand. Everywhere. Yeah. And so I don't know. I'll probably just like go for a walk on the beach. But like down here, it's nice. And then further north, it's nice. But in the middle, it's like kind of too busy. So I stay away from that usually on Saturdays and Sundays. And then come Sunday night, many of the Thais will drive back home to Bangkok. Yeah. So
Mike, you rented a bike. It's got a white seat. And you were like talking about you like the white seat on the bike.
Dude, I swear to God, like the minute Gracie and I moved here initially last November. So we go and we rent this bike. Now we've rented bikes all over Southeast Asia and it's always a pain in the ass. And like Gracie will like put her shawl on it or something like that. Cause all the seats are usually black. So I go up to this one lady and I look around and it didn't really hit me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take that one. It looks nice. It's got like a white seat or whatever. And we're driving it around and it's amazing. The temperature delta. And then I went back to her place. Every single motorbike that she rents has a white seat. And I'm like, this lady's fucking brilliant. I'm like, how come this is not the standard option that people buy at like the Honda dealer? I'm like, if I ever buy a motorbike, I am so getting a white seat. I mean, this is a genius move. So yeah, I'm very pleased with my rental. Noise Pit Shop. Big fan of her.
Yeah, I've never even thought about it, but yeah, it makes sense, right? Same as like black helmet versus white helmet.
Yeah, I do have a black helmet, but again, it's it's the free one kind of thing. I don't notice that I'm getting too hot, but I'm sure I am.
You get a nice breeze going up the shorts. So, well,
dude,
what's Joe at?
I got that going on right now.
Pork roll, egg cheese. I have no idea what that is.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, Joe, you need to elaborate.
Is that like a U.S. thing?
Pork roll, egg cheeses, because I have no clue. Yeah, I've not eaten pork in.
What was the other thing that Joe was going to elaborate on?
Oh, pips, 1,200 pips.
Yeah, with like 30K something. Like what? I didn't see his response.
I didn't see it in the chat. So Joe, we need explanations down below, please, sir. Well, Token's got something. I hung out with a bunch of Thai AMs that swear and use rude words all the time. Even after 10 years of hanging out with them, my wife still gets embarrassed and refuses to repeat them. Yeah, I'll ask Jib like how to say something. Like if I want to start a fight with someone, what do I say? And she's like, I don't know those words. I've never had a fight before. Jib will refuse to elaborate on naughty things. I'm like, babe,
Good.
Bareback Walsh told me this. And she's like, oh no, we don't say those things. She's like, you shouldn't hang out with guys named Bareback Walsh.
Well, enough said. I completely agree with that statement.
Yeah, right. There's a reason I don't. Oh, so Mike, you're 40 minutes from Benja. Maybe you guys should meet up for lunch at her chicken shop.
The what?
Benja says you're 40 minutes from her. Doesn't she own a chicken shop?
Where does she live?
You can race her on her Ducati and then stream it from your GoPro.
So I'm 40 minutes from you. Okay, so Benja, I was up in Chao Samran yesterday, which is like 35 minutes from here. Are you like there? Because I was like probably like 40. I mean, are you up the coast or is she inland?
She lives in
You guys.
Oh, so real quick, Joe was talking about Forex. Those are his trades this week. Joe's the only guy I know making money on Forex.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I'm not a Forex guy.
It's the name of a place that has a mountain. You can ask the local there for Khao Yoi.
Can you type it in English, Benja? Because when I do the translation for that, it tells me that word means yellow.
Huh?
Google Translate says it means yellow.
Really?
And everyone knows yellow is my day.
If I translate
it.
So actually, Jim, this is an interesting question from Hike. What am I like to live with?
Difficult.
Jingla.
ใช่
My.
Yes.
Why
because
difficult?
they like to challenge me.
Challenge you how? To do better?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it says yellow. Huh. But
weird.
That's not the word for yellow.
It's a Thai word.
Okay, so now she just basically gave me 17 times more. Hold on, let me do a translate for this.
So live with you.
I will arrive before Phetchaburi and Cham. Yeah, I mean, I was literally up in Phetchaburi yesterday. I was at so Benja, I was at Robinson, right? Which is basically right in Phetchaburi. Very easy for me to get there. If it's a beach, I'll meet you. If it's inland,
or she live before you arrive Phetchaburi, then Cham. So maybe you can meet her on the way back to Bangkok.
He's going by train, no stopping.
Oh, by train, law.
Well, no, actually, to get back, I'm going to take the VIP bus, which is instead of having like 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got 2 and 1, right?
Yeah.
And it's 294 baht, which of course is, in comparison to the train, obviously it's
20x.
$9 bucks. But they give you water and that sort of thing.
That's a Pinto.
Yeah, they have like the little flight attendants,
So
the bus attendants, right?
Pinto is a lunchbox.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a really the seats are very comfortable.
Yeah, that's the lunchbox, Joe.
Khao Yoi, ni Cham.
Oh yeah, no beach near there. That's definitely inland, Mike. Yeah, so we can hold.
Benja, just send me like wherever you are. So what's that?
That's the location.
It's about 40 minutes.
The one near the beach is obviously you, and then the red dot is Benja.
Around. So by the name.
Hold on. Okay, so I was literally like right there yesterday.
Here's the question we really need answered. Joe P, what the hell is a pork roll egg cheese?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Stuck
Absolutely.
gets us. He knows what we want to know. Go more hike. Jinglaw.
Oh, Benja, wait, you and I are connected on Facebook. I think we're connected on Facebook. Anyway, just send me your location, because that's the way I'm gonna go again today, later on, because I was gonna go back up to there's a national park up there that I was gonna go check out. So anyway.
So Joe says this is a New York, New Jersey breakfast sandwich. I think we need Todd back to like elaborate on this. I've never heard, so it's definitely not a New England thing. It must be like specific to New York, New Jersey. But yeah, I don't pork roll egg cheese. Definitely not something. In Rhode Island, you just let me get the Dunkin' egg and cheese. Throw some bacon on it.
Up Dunkin'.
Yeah, up Dunkin'.
Jib, can you send that to me in English? Because I'm trying to think. Because there's that point right there, and I know where that is.
Ham.
But it looks like a national park.
Jib is Googling photos for pork roll egg cheese. Well, actually, I meant to send Jib this photo yesterday. This is a small fry from Five Guys. If you guys can see this. This is 7 years ago. I was in Mountain View giving a talk at the Computer History Museum, and I stopped at a Five Guys, and this was the small French fry.
No.
Yeah, small.
It's not small.
Absolutely not.
So Go More Hike wants to know, why knitting? How'd you get into doing that? What's the appeal?
Why knitting?
Yeah, why'd you get into knitting?
I do many craft. And to think about business, knitting is kind of easy to teach. Not easy to teach, but like you can teach better than embroidery. That one you need like one-on-one.
So yeah, Jib's at the Royal Academy of Arts and Crafts right now studying embroidery. So her default setting right now is blind with bleeding fingertips. Like every night, like she'll work and like she has these little magnifiers she flips down, and she'll have blood coming out of her fingers from missed needles. A little. Wait, Joe says he had this in Boston also.
I'd never heard of it when I was there, dude.
Mike lived there for what, 20 years. I lived in Boston for 5. Oh, Token, have a good night, man. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. So it seems like a bacon, egg, and cheese from what it looks like to me when Jib Googled it, like a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. But you're calling it a pork roll? Is it bacon or is actual pork on there, Joe? Yeah, so Stuck saying he thinks it's pork sandwich with egg and cheese. I have my doubts. You New Yorkers, man. You New Yorkers are funny. So, Mike, you making this road trip today? Khao Yoi?
No, I mean, but Cal, yeah, I mean, that's like she just basically sent me a link to an entire province.
So is this like a Jewish neighborhood? Khao Yoi? Oi? Khao Oi?
Khao Yoi. Oi, Khao Yoi.
You gonna go have some Manischewitz?
No, I don't know. She sent me, it's like the entire province. I don't know how to get there. So anyway.
You went to the national park on your first live stream, but no monkeys at all, huh?
So I did on the way out, actually, which was pretty cool. Okay. And I will tell you that, I mean, the national parks in Thailand
Jib is gonna go,
are just like
coming by, Jib. All right, so I'll go back to big zoom in on my ugly face. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, she's sending me. Yeah. Anyway, that's all right.
So you did see some monkeys on the way out.
Yeah. In fact, where was I yesterday? Yesterday, I was just like cruising along the road. I saw there was a monitor lizard in front of me. It was probably 6 or 7 feet long. I mean, it was the size of a giant crocodile. But unfortunately, my silly stream had stopped by then. I was really bummed, so I don't think I got that on camera. But I was also cruising along the street and saw a whole bunch of monkeys. Now, again, they're gone, right? Because there's no humans. No one's showing up and giving them like free bananas. So
was
unfortunately, there's a limited amount.
Was Shah Am where that viral video was from, where the monkeys just went ape shit on the road?
No, that was Pratrap Kurikan.
Okay.
Oh, no. I know the one you mean. No. That was, yeah. Like when COVID first broke out and they were like, oh my God, the Thais are all starving.
Yeah.
It was
people saying the monkeys were starving because there were no tourists.
Yeah. I mean, that is, I don't know about that.
Mike, I'm wondering if you've decided which option you might have opted for to have Gracie and her daughter be reunited. It seems like Thailand is opening up different avenues.
Yeah. So, yeah, I see that. Just to be clear, I mean, Gracie and her daughter are physically together, so I don't need to reunite them. But if you mean like to reunite them to come over here, so probably what we're waiting for in February is for her daughter to get a correct birth certificate. With that, then her daughter can get a passport, and then she can start traveling internationally with us. That's the long-term goal. She's 13 right now, so I'm not totally worried about it. If she was 18, I would be like, look, dude, we got to get her traveling internationally. But to get Gracie over here, I think the best solution is going to be to get her a 5-year elite visa, because I have various ways of getting in and out of pretty much the airports here, as well as also in Southeast Asia, quickly. And so in Thailand, it's not so bad. Usually they'll let Gracie come in with me with my APEC card. But now that she'll have the elite visa, then that'll be great. She can come in and out of the priority lane. They'll take care of her 90-day reporting for her, actually, if she's over here. And then we won't have to go to immigration at like date 25 and extend her another 30 days. Plus the fact that coming into Thailand and getting a 30-day visa exempt stamp, I think that's a ways away.
Yeah.
So probably going to do that with her. I emailed them about a week ago. Elite, I mean. So I'm anticipating in about another week they'll come back from me and say, hey, okay, yeah, go for it, Mike, pay us. And then we'll go through
Todd's agent.
The short answer is yes, but I'm going through the official Thai elite company. There are people that can kind of like resell it. It's kind of like affiliate marketing.
Yeah. MLM.
But there's no real value. Yeah, exactly. There's no real value add there. I mean, so I'm just going direct.
So Roger McGee, he's same as me. When he was watching you, when you dropped the camera from the scooter, he thought you crashed as well. I was like, oh, fuck, Mike's going to be fucked up.
Yeah. I saw his comment. That's really awesome. Oh, okay. So she gave me the exact address.
Oh, okay. Well, on Facebook, I guess.
Wait, she's at a what? Hold on. It says
the brass monkey, that funky monkey.
She's south of me? Yeah.
Brass monkey, that funky monkey. That was a beer back in the day, right? Or a hard alcohol?
What, Brass Monkey?
Yeah.
I don't recall that. Wat Nong Chumpon? There's a Wat named Chumpon in Phetchaburi? That's so weird. I mean, Chumpon is like way south of here.
Yeah, dude, stuck.
Oh my God. Benja. Very true. Benja, if you're near, I've been there. I've actually been there. I love this Wat. That is it's a really awesome one. It's got these gorgeous doors in front with like gold leaf inside of the
oh wow.
I guess teak that they use for the doors. Yeah, anyway, so Wat Nong Chumpon. Yeah, I guess so. I'll probably cruise up there later today or whatever.
Nice. There's a good size
Oh,
water
it's got
monitor
this
that
giant.
was
I
in the
forgot
room.
about that.
Those water monitors, man. Those are funky. Those are. I remember one time I was at
I
a
love
cafe
them. I love
waiting
everything
for
about
Jim.
them.
Yeah, they're beautiful animals, but they're really not like if in the wild, like they'll leave you alone for the most part. But I was at this cafe that was like on this
Oh, they're
little
afraid
thing.
of us.
Yeah, and it'd come up under my table. This one had to be 2 meters long, and I was just sitting there. I was working on my iPad and waiting for Jib to get out of work. This is when we first started dating, and she was still working at Mahedon. And I'm just typing away, and I look down, and there's a fucking water monitor just sitting there, head up, just kind of looking up between my legs under the table. Freaks me out. I literally fall back, kick the table over. I'm on like one of these little plastic chairs, right? So the fucking chair, just as I fall back, it just folds in on itself, and I fall down. I look up, and the monitor lizard is already in the water again, and everyone around me outside is like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?"
What's wrong with
this
this
is going to
dude?
be this comment from Hike is going to be a hot topic for a hot. This is going to be a hot take from Mike. Any thoughts about relocating to the Philippines when it opens up?
No, absolutely not.
So I'm laughing because I know what Mike will say.
I think, trust me, Gracie wants to live in Thailand more than she would prefer to live there. Her family's there, so obviously she's in love with every single person that is in part of her family. And we have a house there that we built. But yeah, I mean, you guys have, at the end of the day, it's a pretty easy synonym, and it's incompetence. The Philippines is incompetent, and so my hope is that they can get their act together enough such that Gracie, because where she's at right now in the Philippines, because she's in the province, there's not much COVID. And so I'm hoping that if she comes from there and goes through Manila and then ends up in Bangkok, they won't be like, oh my God, you're diseased like crazy. But, as of today or yesterday, it's a 10-day quarantine instead of 14. So that's promising. But yeah, I don't mind going to the Philippines. There's some really fun beaches and that sort of thing. But, overall, I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people, based on ignorance, will refer to Thailand as a third world country and, or maybe a developing nation if they're being politically correct, which really both of them are kind of inaccurate. The Philippines is a third world country. I mean, their infrastructure is unreliable. Their water is ridiculous in their distribution of it. They have a lot of room to grow, and it's got nothing to do with the general Philippine populace. It is related to corruption at the level of leadership in that country that is squelching the ability for their citizens to improve at all. They have the worst internet in all of Southeast Asia, like worse than Laos.
Even Manila,
okay?
yeah.
And Manila, and argue. Okay, to be fair, there are parts of Manila. Yes, you can get fiber into your condo. I get that. But yeah, there's some great beaches. But I mean, that said, guys, as you might guess, I thank God for the Philippines because I mean, Gracie's amazing, and I really wish that she was like right here with me, But
hopefully soon enough, man.
Anyway. Not going to relocate anytime soon, dude.
So go more hike MD 2020. I don't know what that is. That product?
Mad Dog 2020. It's the world's shittiest wine.
Oh, probably not. Wine is expensive here.
It's not real wine. It's like grape juice with isopropyl alcohol in it.
Sounds fantastic. So Ben just says, if you want to visit me in my hometown, we have many places to show you, Mike. Absolutely. Oh yeah, he says here it's a popular.
Okay, so Benja, have you been down? Have you been down to Cham? Because Google tells me it'll take me about an hour, but I mean, on the motorbike, like I cruise around and I stop along the way and I look around and I'm going maybe 50 kilometers an hour, usually slower than that. And when I came up the 4, I mean, it's kind of busy, there's a lot of trucks and stuff. So realistically, like how long has it taken you to get to Cham before?
Greg says Thailand equals weed, Philippines equals no weed. Gomor Hike, no weed available in Thailand yet. Well, the CBD product, but no THC legally. Yeah, legal for medical, but no one. I don't think there's anyone actually selling prescriptions. New Jersey legalized marijuana for enjoyment. Stock says popular with winos. On Philippines, couldn't you find a place with good internet or have it installed, get a generator put in after? Get a generator, get good internet, and self-defense, hire some security, you get a cook.
So
eliminate
you can
traffic.
You can get a generator. You can get a generator, but no, the internet there. Here's what's amazing about the internet in the Philippines. The Facebook came in and said, we will provide you with free internet for the whole friggin' country, but we're going to upgrade the goddamn infrastructure. And because of corruption and the inability for basically the two main carriers to make any money, they just said, no, forget it. We'll take care. Their backhaul to the internet, the entire country, is so horrible that even if you're sitting there on your phone and it says 4G LTE, that is accurate. That is your connectivity between your phone and the cell tower, basically.
Yeah.
But the backhaul to the internet it's unreliable, and it's just it's just really, really horrible. It is very difficult. Put it this way: the places that I want to live in the Philippines, which means not in downtown Cebu, not in Makati, at the beach, impossible to get good internet there.
So, Greg, someone's got their card, but are they actually able to get like a legal medical weed from a hospital? Because I know a few people with their card, no one's actually getting prescription THC products yet. Go more hike. The Philippines has cornbread. Yeah, basically they have everything American for sure.
Yeah, they probably have it at Kenny Rogers, right? Isn't that the name of the place?
Yeah. What's the Jollibee? I wonder if Jollibee has cornbread.
That place, their food is bad.
That's the place that does the spaghetti with the hot dogs, right? And they stick the spaghetti through the hot dog.
I don't know about that. I mean, their spaghetti, in the Philippines, the spaghetti sauce over there has a ton of sugar in it. So it tastes really weird, at least from my perspective. Yeah, exactly. It's food coloring and sugar. Yeah.
Yeah. Artificial tomato flavor.
Oh, it's really
have a friend,
bad.
She's Filipino. She lives in Manila, and she's like she's a fitness fanatic, CrossFit fanatic. And but her evil vice is still Jollibee. Like, she loves Jollibee.
The burgers or the chicken?
No, she'll get the chicken, she'll get the pasta, like anything Jollibee is just like, it's just like that's her her vice, like her cheat meal is Jollibee. Again, this girl's still like 0% body fat, has a 6-pack, like CrossFit competitor, Spartan race competitor.
Well, CrossFit. I mean, she's burning 6,000 calories a day, so it's easy to eat Jollibee and justify it, I guess. Right?
During quarantine, she made her own exercise equipment at her house out of like concrete and like water jugs. And it was like still just like going.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh, so Greg says that you get the CBD legally and vape it. Yeah, vape again. Still like again.
It's good to have goals.
Yeah, not my preferred delivery method of anything. Is not to particleize something and inhale it. An excellent delivery method if you want to get high. Not a good long-term delivery method for health.
There's always intravenous.
Yeah. Well, Gomor Hike says he's looking forward to Jollibee. Call me crazy. I like McDonald's. McDonald's fries, definitely the best fries in the game, the fast food fries in the game. But again, to me, Jollibee, like I had a few things there, and it's just like not good. And then like you see the stuff that people get there in the Philippines, but don't they have Jollibees in LA and Vegas?
You got one in San Diego.
Is there one in San Diego?
Yeah, there's Filipino grocery stores, and so they have them in there.
And then it's crazy to go on vacation to San Diego. Like, we got a Jolly.
Trust me, she was more than happy to stay away from Jollibee. There's a lot better food.
She's not from Manila. She's from an island, right? So she's like, they probably don't even have Jollibee where she's at.
Well, Manila's on an island.
Oh yeah, no, but she's like from one of the outset islands, right?
No. I mean, the island that she's on is as big as Luzon. Luzon is the island that Manila's on, and so anyway, she's from the province, though. She's from basically a village that is in the middle of.
No Jollibee.
It's about 2.5 hours south of Boracay.
No Jollibee where she's from. She didn't grow up with it.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, you go to like the bigger city, which is about probably about an hour away, and they have malls there. I mean, any mall they have one, right?
In Asia, it feels like you can find a mall anywhere, right?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, man. I mean, as you and I have both talked about, the malls in Thailand are out of this world. They're so amazingly advanced. I mean, it's just
the one they're building that we went by after IKEA. How crazy is that mall going to be?
God, huge.
It's like a city.
2 kilometers long. Yeah. It is. They're going to have an amusement park in it.
Yeah. Listen, if you have to eat at Jollibee, get fried chicken, brown gravy, and rice, it's almost edible. Would you have to say almost
I would agree with that. Yeah. I mean, in general, I don't find Filipino food to be good.
I had some good Mexican food in Manila at a place called Chihuahua.
Right, yeah. But listen to what you just said.
Yeah.
I had some good Mexican food in the Philippines. You rarely go to Mexico and say, "Man, I had some killer
Filipino food.
Chicken adobo in Tijuana." No.
So actually all of my Filipino friends, when I'm in Manila, they'll talk about food. They're like, "Oh, but you live in Thailand. Like you don't come to Philippines to eat food." They're like, "We go to Thailand to have good food. You don't come here for good food."
I will say, man, there are some beaches in the Philippines that are gorgeous for sure.
Oh, Joe P's calling me out on the fries. He says checker fries are so good that's my cheat. I've never had the checker fries.
We were talking about that last time. Isn't Checker and Rally's the same company?
Are they? Checkers and Rallies? I think we talked about that.
Could have been, yeah.
So Hike is asking me, what's my take on the dowry system? Got any stories? So it's not, they don't officially call it a dowry here, right? They refer to it as bride price, but essentially the same thing.
I thought it was called Sinsod.
They refer to it bride price, right? Is what they'll say, but it is essentially a dowry. And so I'll say I didn't pay to Jib's family at all, and that's Jib's call, right? Jib basically said she's not property, and her brother paid to his wife, but Jib's opinion, and a lot of modern Thai women, like maybe Jib's age or younger, will have similar takes on it. That look, I'm educated, I work, I have a business, my parents don't own me, right? Don't pay anything to marry me. That's bullshit. It's an old world practice that has no place in modern Thailand. And that's her view. And I have a lot of Thai female friends who share that view. Sometimes the family will put pressure. I have a friend, she's actually Mike might actually know her. I don't want to say her name because I'm about to say something about her family. But hold on one second. Jib's calling me. She probably hears me talking about dowry. Hey, babe. Hello? What? Oh yeah. All right, 1 second. I'll be right back, guys. Oh, what happened? Sorry about that. I'll be right back. Jib needs me to go downstairs to get something, but I will fill in on the dowry story when I return.
I've never really had that experience. I will tell you that I've had experiences where the topic came up, but obviously the most serious relationship I've been in and will be in is with Gracie. So that's not an issue. In fact, I will tell you that any sort of financial commitment to her family has always been instantiated by me. I mean, it's so easy to improve people's lives by just a little bit by quite a bit for no money, for no financial outlay, essentially, in the Philippines. And so that's been nice. That's been pretty rewarding. As you might guess, I'm pretty disappointed I can't get decent internet. Her daughter, the way that she goes to school now, actually, is Gracie goes and picks up her lesson like on Monday. And maybe Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember. I think it's at least once a week on Mondays. I know it's definitely on Mondays. It might be also again on Wednesdays or Thursdays. She goes and gets her lesson, and then she brings it home. And then Euryce will, she has actual work that she like writes down and that sort of thing. But there's also a significant amount of videos that she watches. Not everyone in the Philippines can get internet or can even have a TV. So while there is schooling available via, it's like so where was I recently? Krabi, right? So I'm sorry. No, it was here. Actually, it was in the bedroom. So I was going through the channels, and as you might guess, that's like, Thai cable, right? So every channel is in Thai. But I think like and there's like 50 of them available, let's say. And the last 10 of them, every single one of them was school. And I've heard about that in Thailand, where the kids come in and they like, watch channel 13 if they're in the 13th grade, or they watch channel 10 if they're, or whatever. And so she can get data. Her daughter can get data on her phone. So she's been like learning it that way. But, other than that, I mean, we're pretty powerless over what we can do. Like, I mean, she's got a finite solution for electricity. She's got a finite solution for water and that sort of thing. I'll give you a great example. So where they live, they just simply run their life around the fact that there will be no running water between like 11 in the morning and 4 p.m. And as you might guess, that is not something I'm okay with. But it's just sort of the way they live. So I think the thing that saddens me the most about the Philippines is that the interface that I've had with so many people has been their default setting is, no, I can't do that. Or no, we can't get that. There's like this ingrained, acceptable environment of lack. Like they're just accepting of the fact that they'll never be able to do this, or they'll never have this, or they can't do that, or they won't be able to do. And that is not the way I grew up. And I would submit that a lot of you guys, especially if you're from the US or whatever, you may have maybe not grown up this way, but I'm quite certain you've heard the phrase, which is, you can do anything. As long as you put your mind to it, you can do anything. I'm sure you've heard that phrase. And the way I sort of interpret that is like, given the correct amount of resources, I can effectively do what I want to do. I don't want to be in the NBA, but I certainly have the opportunity to do that if I work my ass off, but I don't have the skill set or the passion. But in the Philippines, it's like, even if you have the skill set and even if you have the passion and that sort of thing, a lot of people are just like, oh no, I could never do anything but own this little sorry store. Well, maybe like a 7-Eleven franchise. No, I could never do that. And I'm like, that drove me bonkers. So yeah, it's not in the Philippines. I would submit that like the dowry procedure, it's an opportunity, I think, for us foreigners, certainly if we get engaged with a family, to improve the quality of their lives. But it's less of a ceremony than the way I've heard it in Thailand. But like Dana was saying, if the woman's educated, I mean, Jib grew up in Bangkok. She's from Bangkok, right? So, I mean, there was like modern around her years ago. And then it just, of course, hockey sticked as far as the modernness. And so, the more educated you are, the more opportunity that you're available to, you get to the point where you just say, I'm not an object, you're not buying me. Whereas in the Philippines, they don't believe that they're an object and they don't believe that you're buying them. What you're doing is you're basically, if you have the ability, you're investing in the family and you're providing for them. Because look, if you're any of the guys like watching this video, as far as the Philippines is concerned, you're friggin' rich. Don't give me this, I've only got $1,500 a month in Social Security bullshit. You're friggin' rich, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same in
And
rural Thailand.
I believe that with that, what's that?
Same in rural Thailand.
Yes, precisely. Yeah. And so I think with that comes some degree of responsibility to improve the quality of the lives of those people that you love. And one could argue that if you're getting married, then you're kind of in love. Ideally, that's not the way we do it in Southern California. That's, every other marriage ends up in divorce. But, I think that there's some opportunity behind it, so.
Yeah, again, like Mike said, Jib's from Bangkok. She grew up here, she's educated. And sometimes it's just a thing that people do for show. I have a lot of friends who got married, did the whole bride price or dowry thing and gave the cash. Like they do the whole ceremony where they give cash, or it's very popular to give like gold or jewelry, other things. And then after the ceremony, the bride's family returns it all to the groom's family. It's just for show.
Yeah, they make trees. They make trees out of the cash, right? They have like these things, with all these bills that are on it.
Or they'll give like one of my friends, his family gave gold bars, right? Just like $1 million in gold. And then at the end, like the wife family gave it back to them. And then the groom's family who put the gold up to give it as the bride price gave it to the bride and groom as like a gift to, buy a house, whatever. So, there's a whole like, especially in the city, like I said, modern, well-off or well-educated families, it's a different dynamic. If you're a guy who comes here and you meet a girl from rural Thailand who grew up on a farm, has a sick buffalo, whatever. Though Mike showed yesterday, all the buffaloes he's seeing are healthy. So, I don't
I'll tell you what, dude, they were happy too. I mean, they were smiling.
So yeah, it's different, right? There's different expectations, there's different dynamics involved, but as like Mike said too, if you're getting married, like you are kind of like helping improve the family. And a lot of guys who marry girls from like, especially from rural areas, will end up moving out there and like living in that rural area. So you're just kind of improving the whole community around. But I was talking about my friend, at least I'm not going to say her name, but Mike might know her because she's in the startup space as well. She has a design UI UX design company, and
yeah, I know what you mean.
And so she's got a foreigner boyfriend who he recently sold a company. And this girl's gorgeous. Like she looks like she could be a model. Like she looks like a rock star almost, like a pop star. She's so beautiful. And she was joking that she's gonna wait until, she told her boyfriend to wait until she's 30 because she was in her 20s. She's like late 20s, and she's like, wait until I'm 30 for us to get engaged because you get a discount on the bride price because I'm too old to marry off to a Thai guy.
Right.
Just kind of like joking around, but like again, like she's not into that whole thing. And it would be like if she did it, it would be for show for her family.
Right. Yeah, that's how they.
So
I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Going to get caffeine. Hike ass. Would that be a feminist view out there? They don't really. Feminism is a thing, right? But it's different than the U.S. It's viewed differently, especially modern feminism. I would say feminism in Thailand is more akin to like what feminism was in like the 70s and 80s, or 60s, 70s, 80s in the US. It's a different vibe altogether. Since that reverse dowry. So yeah, instead of paying to the groom's family, you pay to the bride's family in Thailand. What do you say? Sorry, first off. So Dana, when are you going back to the Hilltop Village? I'm asking because I heard they need their village idiot back. Yeah, I'm returning soon. December is our planned date. When Mike's back from Sha'am, we're gonna have a discussion on dates and talk with the teacher out there to get everything set up. And actually, Hugh from the chat, he sent me a bunch of great information, links to products. So we'll be ordering a lot of stuff this coming week before we head back, before we make the plans. But yeah, so when Mike's back from Sha'am, we'll sit down, we'll have the conversation, we'll start to plan. And then Stuck here says, I put a roof on an 1200. I put a roof on, indoor plumbing, rebuilt a water holding tank, and a new floor in a friend's house in Thailand. 500 baht a day each for 2 helpers, so cheap to complete. Change. Someone's like, yeah, 500 a day, 500 baht a day is above the minimum labor wage too. So it's, that's a decent salary for, especially for a laborer. A skilled craftsman can probably make 700-800 a day. Skilled carpenter, skilled tile person, concrete worker, 800 baht a day is not unrealistic. 500 a day for a laborer, especially up country, that's a great day rate for a laborer up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of times in that scenario, actually, you're gonna provide them with lunch too. Like when Gracie was having guys work on their house, yes, we would pay them, but like she also literally she would spend hours making them lunch because there's like 20 guys, right? And that's just expected. They're like, okay, I'm going to work here and you'll pay me, but you're also going to feed me.
Yeah. And you're talking especially if you're making it at home, it's time, but it's nothing, right? Like even if I bought, when we have people come and work, if I buy food for them, it's 20 baht a person, right? Usually I'll get a big thing of rice, or I'll cook rice in the rice cooker, and I'll get fried chicken or chopped pork, some type of protein for them to have for lunch with the rice, and they'll go to town. And, of course, then they'll go and they'll pound 5 or 6 M150s or Krating Dangs. And
fine.
Actually, I remember when I was living in Pathum Thani, they were elevating the road to try to split off the industrial area from where it floods. So they were elevating the main road, and there were all these laborers working. And, they'll take a break. They'll take a long lunch break to try to get out of the heat. And so they'll eat, and then what you'll see them do is they're buying either bottles of Lao Khao or cheap whiskey or beer, along with a bunch of the Krating Dang or the M150s. And so Lao Khao is that rice, the fermented rice whiskey drink thing. It's almost like low wine, which is a first run from a still. And they'll drink that after lunch and basically sleep under the truck on these little hammocks that they sling up between the wheel wells.
Totally.
They'll sleep there until 2 when the sun starts to maybe get a little bit lower, and then they'll get back to work, and they'll work until 6 or 7. And they wake up from that nap, that Lao Khao fueled nap, and they'll pound the Krating Dangs of the M150s and get back at it.
Totally, dude. Totally. Dude, I just realized it's 11:20. We should
wrap
close this out.
You get some beach in your future?
Yeah, baby.
So I
need some beach.
Joe, when I return as the village idiot to the village up in Chiang Mai, because he was asking, they said they need their idiot back. So when you're back, like I said, I'm not going to say when you're back, but when you come back to Bangkok, me and you are going to sit down and talk about a plan and get things going. But like I said, we got some great info from Hugh, so I'll be ordering some of the stuff that he sent through so that we have that on hand to go up with.
Nice.
All right, sir. Well, until next time, guys, Mike will be at the beach, but you stay strange.
As much as I can, dude. As much as I can.